We're live, people. We are live. I know what you're thinking, though. I know what you're thinking. It's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday afternoon. You got your boy, the Lochness, from the Lochness podcast coming at you. I'm doing an afternoon show. My apologies. About yesterday, but hey, we're here today. I know it's gonna probably hit people by surprise that hey, this man did a show and we didn't even know. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna go ahead and do my show, throw it out there, get all the comments as people come in. If anybody jumps in, go ahead and let me know in the chat where you're listening from, where you're viewing from, red and black in the chat. Um, so it's still let's talk about it with the Lochness. Normally on Tuesday nights, we're gonna do it Wednesday afternoon, and there's just certain things that I want to talk about in regards to our offensively led coaches, how that shapes and affect our draft, and winning in free agency also affects our draft. Um, and after listening to the Ian Cunningham's press release, like his introductory um, uh, press release to being the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, he said some things that were telling. He said some things that were giving an idea of what their mindset would be, what their focus point would be going into the draft. And I want to talk about how, since we got a lot of offensively led coaches, and how that is going to supersede some of the processing um, where we were once were to where we're going to be and where we're going to become. Rise up. What's happening? What's happening? He said, "What's GA says, what's good? Lion's AFN family. The new era is here for Showski. Rise up, Falcon. Hey, man, you might need to change that B into an N. You know what I'm talking about? We in here with Ian Cunningham. We in here with Ian Cunningham. You feel me? Pun intended. So, yeah, so we lit, we live, we out here. This is the Lochness Podcast. The Lochness from the Lochness Podcast. Like I said, let's talk about it with the Lochness, how offensively led coaches, like coaches that lead the offense, shaped our 2026 draft. You can follow me at the Lochness Podcast on YouTube. Road to 500 subs. If you haven't subscribed to your boy, go to my own personal channel. Give me the 500 subs, man. So we're going to make this thing official, 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 official. So like I said, how offensively our coaches shaped the outfit on the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, 2026 draft. Most people don't understand that we've one of our weakest points at the point of attack. We had no explosive plays besides Bijan Robinson. No explosive plays through the air like that. Probably no more than 20 yards. No more than 25. I say 25 because Drake London was down there a little bit. Drake London was prized to have a hellacious stat stuff year. And once he got hurt, it was just like, yeah. So besides our on defense, we're really gonna just focus on offense because we know on defense we couldn't stop a cold, we couldn't stop a run. The middle of our linebackers, they sending Caden Ellis on coverage when he's not a coverage guy. He's a tackling machine, but coverage guy, absolutely not. So we're gonna only specifically talk about, you guessed it, the offense. Ian Cunningham. We already talked about it. It was inklings in the through the grapevines about him being our GM, and obviously it happened. And he comes from the Bears. And they talked about many different things about him, where we was already, we was gathering. We already had a relationship with the Bears when it came to people we was pulling in free agency, and this is one of the guys that we was talking to, or Terry Fontenot was talking to. So we get an opportunity to have this guy. A lot of the coaches that we're getting, and a lot of the hires that they're saying Stefanski is doing, um, is reiterating. He's trying to. It's almost like he's trying to repeat the winning seasons that he had in the Browns. He's trying to keep people around him that he's familiar with. That's why you would hire Alex Van Pelt. Um, when he had those nice seasons where he was like coach of the year, I think Van Pelt was somebody that was alongside of him. So a lot of people, like, it's not the flash in the pan names that people like really gravitate to. Like, you're not like a Clint Kubiak. Like, I talked about it in my last show about Clint Kubiak, and how people were like, "Oh man, why we didn't get Clint Kubiak?" And I was like, "Well, y'all wasn't asking for Clint Kubiak when he was with the Saints. You wasn't asking for him when he was with the Saints." I'm just being 100%. And it goes to show, and the mindset I wanted to put people in is the fact that if if a coach has a bad year with a team, that doesn't equate to him going to another team and having another bad year. Obviously, Clint Kubiak going to the Seahawks obviously turn it's all about the organization and the structure and the infrastructure and how it's ran, the coaches, the people that believe, the vision, the culture, the players, you know, that has a lot to do with it. So that's why when we pick Stefanski, people's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? This dude has already been a head coach. He's not a first time head coach. He's already been in the trenches. He's already dealt with controversy and all this stuff that goes along with it. He already, and then like I said, they was like, "Oh, look at how he's doing Shador and this," and it was just like, "What are you talking about? That may have not been his call. There's still a chain of command there, you know." Um, so with that being said, with somebody like Ian Cunningham, and I heard this on Falcon Sports. Shout out to Moose on Falcon Sports. Um, he talked about how Ian Cunningham had mentioned that you know they're gonna accrue more draft picks, so that means they're gonna draft down. They're gonna sell their draft pick for more draft picks. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna you know give up their draft position to pick later for more draft picks. And I'm on board with this, and I'm not on board with this. Hey, what's happening? I'm on board with this, and then I'm not on board with this. Um, I'm not on board with this. I'm not on board with this. What's happening? Hump day for Showski. For show, for show. I'm on board with giving up draft picks, but I'm not on board with giving up draft picks. And I'm gonna tell you why. I've done so many mock drafts. I've done so many mock drafts. I've done so many mock drafts. But before I get into that category, the understanding is to me is what is it do we need? So in y'all opinion, the chat tell me in y'all opinion, what is it that we need? Like if you can name 3 different positions right now that we need to get in, and it's a have to. I can name one. You already know. We already know what one is. It ain't a running back. And the funny thing is about our my drafting, when I was doing my drafting, what's happening? When I was doing my drafting, they was talking about we needed a running back. Suggested, like a suggested running back. I'm like, what are you talking about? A suggested running back? So So what are some positions? Like what is 3 positions that we need to fill ASAP Rocky? ASAP Rocky. So like, so I'm gonna put this up here. We're gonna come back to Ian Cunningham because Ian Cunningham wants to give up draft picks to get more draft picks. And a lot of people are like, yeah, we need to pick more people in the draft. You don't need to pick more people in. It's not about picking more bodies. You know, we made a killing in undrafted free, like undrafted, and we didn't see none of them people. But we saw all our draft picks though. Only person we did see is Kobe Bryant. I think that's the only person we saw, Kobe Bryant, if I'm not mistaken. But we did see all of our 5. I think we had like 5 draft picks this last time. And we had, you know what I'm saying? So, okay. O-line. Now, in one of my drafts, I picked the O-line first. Because I always talked about we need to protect our quarterback. And the person that I think on that side, I think we need an interior O-line. And this is my thoughts. See, Chrissy, like this is my thoughts on that. I was thinking the interior O-line. What's his name? Pegion, something like that. That dude. I was thinking, bring him in and get to a point where he's going to be either on the he's going to be, because Bijan likes to run to the right. So somebody like him, he needs to be, because we got to get rid of Matthews. Let's just be 100%. Let's not BS around. Matthews is pretty much going to go. You move Bergeron to Matthews' spot, and you take number 70, Pegion. What's his name? Pegion? I think his name is Pegion or something like that. We about to pull it up. But you put him. I got so many. This is crazy. This is crazy work. You put him on the other side of Bergeron, or put Bergeron on the outside and have him in the inside, and then you have your center, and then you have McGarry, and then you have Lindstrom. I think that's how we're gonna go. But I think we're just talking about this last night. Agreed. Yeah, like Matthews has to go. Like he is his time. He was like one of the last of the Mohicans. We're trying to build a new team. We're trying to get, we got to change this mindset. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for taking, the pay cut or whatever you did, or the extension. I appreciate you, my boy. Everything you did. Appreciate you. But Bergeron, before he got hurt, he was solid. Like when we plug and play Bergeron, North Stormy, he was straight a little bit. But it was more so Bergeron. Matthews, who's that? Let's see. Our center, who was Newsel, McGarry, Lindstrom, guard. So I would honestly think getting that Pegion dude, I can't think of his name. That's crazy. Let me go. I got so many. It's crazy. I got so many drafts, and I took pictures. So I was like, okay. I'm trying to see the one when I actually drafted the O-line first. I did. Oh, here we go. Pregnon. And it gave me an A+ on it. It gave me, you said, I think we can do a wide receiver first. So this is my thing about wide receiver. I would say go all in on offense in the draft. The only other position I wouldn't go all in, I would say, and like I said, hold on, I'm gonna get back. So y'all cooking right now. Let's cook. So in a perfect world, I was going wide receiver, cornerback, tight end, OT, wide receiver. That's my formula. In the draft that I drafted the O-line first, I went O-line, wide receiver, tight end, cornerback. I did 2 cornerbacks. One of the cornerbacks, they was like, you shouldn't have picked, but I was like, I liked him. I like Jermaine Matthews Jr. But if I didn't want Jermaine Matthews Jr., the dude from Georgia Tech, the little small guy who like a slot receiver. That's what we need. We need a small guy, slot receiver that can run past the dude from Georgia Tech. I think Coach Unchained did a short about him. Yeah, the dude from Georgia Tech. Rivers, if I'm not mistaken. Rivers, I think that's his last. Eric Rivers. So I honestly believe he said Caden Proctor is the pick for O-line, I think. Okay. I looked at Proctor. I looked at him before. I wouldn't be surprised if Bergeron moves outside. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I like Bergeron takes, because Matthews on the outside. Move Bergeron to the outside, and then you draft an interior line like a tackle. You draft another, like you draft another one of those. You draft a tackle. They're saying we need defensive line. Honestly, I feel like I wouldn't draft defensive line. I hear that the dude we got from the Saints on the O-line, his name is eluding me right now. First of all, we need to go ahead and address the elephants in the room first. We need to go ahead and address Kyle Pitts. We already addressing Kirk Cousins. We really need to address Kyle Pitts. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe they're saying he's going back down to Miami. Going to Miami for, he's playing in Florida. Send him on back to send him to Miami. I don't care. I've looked at all the tight ends in college right now. There's so many people doing exactly what he's been doing when he first got into the game. Because you got to understand also what people don't understand. You have to understand what is our offense currently. Let's talk about that as well. What is our offense currently? We're going to be a running team that can pass. I wanted to say we was going to be a passing team that can run. We're going to be or actually, I'm going to keep that. Stefanski, them, are going to make this a passing team that can run. That's what I always felt that we were. It's just that nobody else was really catching passes like that, so we had to rely on Bijan Robinson. And with that being said, they wouldn't bring in all of these offensively led coaches geared towards passing if we're not going to utilize the pass. We want the passing to be so good that it opens up the run game. We want to have a stout offensive line that can sit up here and protect the quarterback so he can see and make the passes that he needs to make. We want to create explosiveness. We want to, I believe we're going to go to the two tight end formation more than anything, because what that does is opens up the run. And also you put 2 premier tight ends or 2 tight ends that can get to it, or one blocking and one as, pass catching tight end. And then, you have a mixed bag of, what you can and cannot do, especially if you're going play action. I was thinking that Bergeron was going to move on the outside, and then we bring in somebody. If we move from Jake, what are the thoughts on Burge at left tackle? Yeah, like I said, move Bergeron to the outside. News, okay. Move Bergeron to the outside. If that O-line dude is there, Pregnon. If Pregnon is there, not even gonna lie to you. If Pregnon is there, Emmanuel Pregnon, and my little brother's name is Emmanuel, so we're gonna go with Emmanuel. E-Man. And we're going with Emmanuel. E-Man. We got to protect our quarterback, y'all. And they say he's like a fierce O-line. He's moving people. He's moving people out the way to create, you guessed it, those lanes. I am going to have a draft show when I pull up on the board my processes and how I come up with the people I draft. But understanding like what is our team currently? Our team currently is, like I said, we're heavy on Bijan. Bijan mustard over everything since the last coaches. This coach, we might be okay. We use Bijan. I mean, he had a Nick Chubb, I believe. So we're going to still run the ball. Bijan is going to be Bijan. It's just unfortunate. Like, it's not really unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Like, don't expect nothing less than that. Drake London is going to be Drake London, still wide receiver 1. We need a wide receiver 1. People, stop saying Pickens. We don't need Pickens. We don't need Pickens. We don't need a Pickens. That's what I'm saying. People don't understand that. We don't need a Pickens. He's just a flashy name. It's a reason why he left the Steelers. Is like, you know what I'm saying? It's reason for people. Like, so, and then the first thing they thought, even when we got Stefanski, what are you doing? Like, And then you see the complimentary coaches that are coming in since we got Stefanski. Since we got a Stefanski, and it's showing up with the coaching that we're creating. The coaching, I call it, I said the Atlanta Falcons coaches assemble. They're assembling the Avengers. They're trying to. Cade Mays, a free agent, and he's only 25. See, that's what I was going to say. See, you already on point. So I got several different, like all of my topics and takes, they all blend together because they all coexist together. It's just basically we having a conversation. How could we win in free agency? And that's a free agency. Free agency. I just realized that. Let's change that. How can we win in free agency? That's crazy. How can we win there? How can we win in free agency? I said free agency. Well, we can do that by and that's why I said Kyle Pitts. Oh, Onyemata. I think Onyemata is gone. Or going to be gone. Kyle Pitts, Kyle Pitts, Onyemata, Kirk Cousins. Before the March the 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, March 1st. Kyle Pitts, you can let a Kyle Pitts walk. Based off of his production. He does a complementary of many different things. Most tight ends, if we're not going to run tight end heavy, we can get somebody like a David Njoku, because if we're going with the formula of Stefanski getting what he's comfortable having, a team that he's already worked with, a team they're not going to step on each other's toes. And he already had a David Njoku. Stefanski, like I said, he's a complementary. He's a tight end guy. And Stefanski and Tommy Reese, you know what I'm saying? Tommy Reese, Stefanski, Van Pelt. You know what I'm saying? All passing. And it's all about development, quarterback development. Van Pelt, quarterback development. You know, can you imagine? Like, that's what I'm saying. They're piecing together a team that lacks something, and like we lack coaches in the passing aspect of the game. So they're bringing in complementary passing coordinators, OCs, like I say, tight end development. So saying if we don't let a Kyle Pitts go, say we franchise tag him, let Stefanski bring him in and say, hey, bro, Woo, 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 woo. So can you imagine having a David Njoku, who was also up under Stefanski, had one, he's became like he was a premier tight end under Stefanski. And then you take a Kyle Pitts who has lacked in production and get lost. That's the reason why I said let Kyle Pitts go, because you can get someone cheaper to do the same exact thing, which is like an Njoku, and then you can draft a younger guy that you can develop yourself who hasn't already been played, like a Kyle Pitts. Like a Kyle Pitts, we put the unicorn tag on him, and he has not lived up to that. And it's just like, okay, well. And then when Drake London went down, that's when he showed out against Tampa Bay, I believe. But it was like the first thing that people talked about was like, where was this Kyle Pitts all season? Where was this Kyle Pitts going against the Jets, 49ers? If you're going to give me that type of production, and I told y'all before, and I'm standing on business about this, is the Kyle Pitts situation is the same thing it's the same as Grady Jarrett situation. If I can get people complimentary to give me the same type of production for less, why should I pay you? Why should I pay you if I can get a college kid to come in here and give me 4 to 5 catches, 60 yards, and block for me? Why should I pay you like 13, 14 million, 15 million, 16 million, 17 million? Why? That's the only reason I'm saying about Kyle Pitts. Now, if they want to keep him because they invested in him, and then I hear that he was saying, Kyle Pitts said, it'll be dope working with Stefanski. It'll be dope, or something like that. Or it was like a little one-liner. Let him go. We don't want people to, and that's what people don't understand also when it comes to being a press person, being somebody that's out there in front of the cameras, your public relations. You don't want to come off like, I don't care about working with this guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to say stuff like that. But you want to be, whatever, like, as they can show, they're showing Bijan Robinson saying, hey, this the guy, because they probably looked at what he did for Nick Chubb. Like, Nick Chubb, was out there in the streets before he got hurt. You know what I'm talking about? Knock on wood. So, but at the end of the day, check out Sunday. I'm breaking all Atlanta Falcons free agents and moves, sources, extensions, etc. Yeah, that's fine. Just send me the what's the name, bro? Just send me a message, bro. Let me know when it is. Remind me. I'm busy, bro. You gotta remind me. I'll pull up. Bro, really have no idea. Kevin ran Jenkins into the ground. Andrew Berry had to trade Flacco and Pickens away to Shador and move up depth chart. They forced Kevin into a starting Shador. You get it. You get it. You get it. You said Joku's into the ground. Yeah, you said he ran him into the ground. He said, bro, you really have no idea. He ran him into the ground. Bro, at the end of the day, and I'll say this, can you say that Andy Reid he wasn't a good head coach with the Eagles? Can you say like, oh man, Andy Reid did Donovan McNabb wrong, T.O. wrong. Can never finish. Bad head coach, right? And then he go down there to Kansas City and he wins Super Bowls, right? It's the same thing. You got to use people for, like, when Njoku was there and Chubb, and at the end of the day, bro, it's all about culture standards. I can just because I worked over here at McDonald's and then I go to Burger King, and I might flourish in Burger King better than I was at McDonald's just because of how the structure and the culture and how everything is done. A way just to do it to keep move up the depth chart. They've Kevin, yeah. So it's like I mean, like I said, certain situations where when I say you get it, certain situations is out of your control, regardless of what. And some people be disgruntled. Can you imagine going in front of a camera and they ask you all these hard questions, and your brain you want to say, man, bump this or whatever, whatever, but you gotta like, yeah, well, they were the better team, or and then some people they get to a point they already know. I don't even want to do no press. I just leave. He said Kirk is gone. Pitts might be franchise tag. Pitts will be franchise tag. That's why it's important for, and that's what I'm saying. We got to win in free agency. We have to win in free agency. And winning in free agency means, to me, getting a defensive lineman so we don't have to draft a defensive lineman. Would I want us to go get some wide receivers? Absolutely. Absolutely. Go get some wide receivers. He said Mooney can be a June 1st cut. Mooney can be he's cut anyway. What's up? 3 Dirty with Hanny. 12 personnel gonna be called a lot. I feel like no doubt. Oh yeah, 12 personnel. Right. Honestly, he said, what's up, 3 Dirty and Christy with Hanny? He said, why Caden? I wouldn't say he's gone. I just saying we have to resign. I think he has to be resigned. He has to be somebody that we like. He's a tackler. He's a leader. Caden shouldn't be gone. He did get burnt a couple of times in the passing, but that's why he was utilized wrong. Like sometimes you utilize people the wrong way. You can't have this guy on a wide receiver too. I just feel like nothing wrong with Kate Ellis. We can re-sign Kate Ellis. We can save a lot of money with Kirk Cousins gone, Kyle Pitts gone. I think Onyemata is gone. I was saying the same thing. Nothing against Pitts, but does he really fit the scheme? The scheme of the things is going to be like I said, we're leaning towards, and I was saying a passing team that can run, but we're going to be a running team that can pass. Honestly, because we're going to feature Bijan is the feature. It used to be Kyle Pitts. It could have been Kyle Pitts, but it's not Kyle Pitts. Let him go. He hasn't proven to me in these years of being here, besides his first year and this last year, because this is contract year. Like, my boy gets lost in games. Like, it's crazy. He'll get 2 good catches, probably one for a first down and one when he's like 2 for first downs when you're unexpected. There he go. And then it's like, then you don't see him no more. There he go. Now you don't see him no more. Like that literally like that. So I just can't. And then you can look like, well, look, he's getting production basically like a tight end that can't block. So that's what I'm saying. He reminds me of a Grady Jarrett situation where if I can get somebody to give me the same production and then give me something that you don't know how to do as well, there's no reason to keep you because you're going to cost me. The cost efficiency has to be low. For him, it's high. And plus, if he franchise tag him and he balls out this year, we're going to have to pay him. And he's going to be like I hate to say this man's name, a Devontae Freeman. When you get paid and all of a sudden you forget that you have legs to run. Once we paid Devontae Freeman, he forgot how to play after that. Definitely don't forget about Joshua Simmons. Simon, is it Simon? Joshua Simon? Joshua Simon. I haven't forgot about him. They did just draft him. Not draft him, but they did. I think they just re-signed him, I believe. But just like any team, we just seen them sign Kirk Cousins to a big contract, and then we seen them draft a quarterback. we can get Joshua an opportunity because he's just like a Kyle Pitts-esque type. I said that last time when we drafted my boy. He was a Kyle Pitts archetype. Nick Nash was a Drake London archetype, not a burner, a tall guy that 50-50 balls. Pause that, or he's like a doppelganger is what I was calling him, a doppelganger. He's like a Drake London. He's not the fastest, but he got great, catch radius, hands, all this stuff like that. So that's what Simon was, Joshua Simon, that tight end. So even if we get all right, Kyle, we got Simon. And I think we're going to have multiple tight end sets, like I said, because it's going to be it's going to be something that can basically help our run game out, with the play action and the double tight end sets, the pause this big packages, pause when they say, because they want to do a running, because this is how you want it to be. When we had Arthur Smith, he ran the ball like 16 times and we scored. You want to have the most, like, you want to have the people the people in position to basically, they can see that we're going to run the ball, but there's nothing they can do about it. That's when you've coached the team right. That's when you got the other team's number. And I think having the two tight end setup is going to help us with that. Pitts definitely hasn't been consistent at all, but I don't know if we could be able to trade him for anything other than the third or fourth round pick, maybe. I think at this point we got to cut him or sign him. We either got to release him or sign him. We got to tag him or sign him. This is it. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option. That was it right here. What's up, my boy? He said, get set. What's up with the Penix Jr.? He said, what's up with Michael Penix Jr.? There's nothing up with Michael Penix Jr. The thing is, he's not going to have any type of, and this is depending upon our training staff. If they can get him in, if they work him out, get him, and he pass whatever recovery steps he need to get him back out there, to be real with you, I will be honest and say, don't bring the guy in if he ain't ready. If he's not ready, let him heal, let him go through his progressions, strengthening coaches, training coaches. And when he comes back, he'll just be right there at preseason, if I'm not mistaken. So do you give him some reps during preseason? Maybe. What scheme doesn't fit big, fast, tight end, wide receiver hybrid? The one where his mentality doesn't lead up to his actual capability, because it starts up here first. That's the scheme that don't. When you don't have it, when it don't fit in your brain, it won't fit. It won't fit in the physical realm either. That's what it don't fit. Like if Kyle Pitts ain't, and he might have felt like a long time ago, man, bump this team. We don't know. Oh, you bring this dude in, and all of a sudden, I'm not the feature guy. I'm gonna just go out there and do whatever, lackadaisical. You know what I'm saying? That could be the case. Nobody who's gonna admit that they wasn't caring about the squad. Who's gonna admit that? Who's gonna say, hey, you know what, man, I was done with them. Besides of Julio Jones. I mean, as far as running, I watched every Brown game this year. He treated Joku like Jukins like a draft horse. I mean, Njoku. So my thing is this. What's good? We use Bijan so much because nobody else was doing anything when Drake London went down. We had no wide receivers. And then we had to lean on, guess what? You guessed it, a Kyle Pitts. Yeah, this is his 5th year. So Time to go. A tight end is expected to be more involved in the blocking scheme, less passing. It's more about the contract for the services. Well, yeah, that's why I just said like it's gonna cost us more because if we're going towards leaning towards blocking, he ain't blocking. He ain't blocking. He ain't trying to block. He's wow. I don't know what just happened. I'm back. Like, I don't know what just happened. See, they didn't want me to say that. They're like, hey. If he ain't blocking, get off of him. Well, he ain't blocking. Like, regardless of what, he ain't blocking. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we can still draft somebody that can block. Hell, we got a guy that we bring in that's a tight end that every time Bijan runs the ball, more than likely we put him in motion to run behind him because he's a great blocker. He's supposed to be the intermediate guy anyway. Kyle Pitts is a ball dominant tight end. He's a featured tight end. We don't need him to be a featured tight end. That's why his production. He has the production. He's a ball dominant tight end. We don't have that. Can you imagine when the Patriots had Hernandez and like I said, Kyle Pitts and Gronkowski had both of those guys? Who was getting the bulk of the passes? Gronkowski. Both of them was straight though. Big guys. Pause that. But Gronkowski, he was just a beast in his own right. He'll get the ball and I swear we need somebody like that. He'll block as well. He know, and some people don't. Some people roles. People I gotta understand this. This is a team. It's a team effort, and we gotta understand the role. Kyle Pitts probably was like, "Hey man, the ball ain't going to me anyway, so I'm just like I'm not gonna run like I'm trying to get open." Or they would double team him, and then because they'll know like we're double team Kyle Pitts, is either gonna go to Bijan, and then nobody else was doing anything. So on the wide receiver front, like when it comes back to what I was talking about, one of the things that we need is wide receiver. So I'm gonna go into my draft, and in one of my drafts, I, I have Zachariah Branch as my first pick. I don't trade anything back. That's why I say winning in free agency, and then because get use your 5 picks and get the 5 guys you definitely know you can plug and play. Use your free agency to get complementary players that already can coexist in this ecosystem that we already have that is called the Atlanta Falcons. If that guy from Detroit Lions, that defensive lineman, that we just need him on the inside, a true nose guard, a nose tackle, get that guy to stuff up, the inside. Pause that. Yeah, we'll pause that because we don't know who insides it is. So pause that. So I got a Zachariah Branch as my first pick, as like on my 48th pick, because I feel like he's gonna drop. Most people don't understand. Like they're like, man, Zachariah, he's dope. The dude from Georgia, the wide receiver from Georgia. He's going to drop, y'all, and he can drop right into our hands. Pause that. And he's going to drop only because there's so much other needs that people need that pushes him back to us. And I feel like that will be nice because once you draft somebody from Georgia that also is a hometown kid, or just from like you know what I'm saying, that played for the college of UGA, I think that also gives people more like his jersey sales. People will come to the games to see him play. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff equates to that. The QB is the featured player. You saying the featured player on the offense? The Ladybirds last night talked about Joe Flacco. We can use a Joe Flacco who can still give us a veteran presence that doesn't cost us that much, and we can still make some stuff happen for him. Do you think? And then somebody say, Joe Flacco, are you crazy? What are you talking about? Not no Joe Flacco. But then you say something. If I say, hey, if I told you before Sam Darnold went to the Seahawks and I say, hey, let's get Sam Darnold. Y'all like, hell no. He was switched up with 4 different teams. Not no Sam Darnold. Fuck that. I'm not going to get no Sam Darnold. Right? Not Sam Darnold. Who wants him? And then he went to the Seahawks, and guess who's in the Super Bowl? Right. Right. What happened when the Eagles went down? Who was it? What's that guy? Oh my God. What's that coach? I mean, the quarterback name. Y'all know who Flacco took over for, and he ended up winning the Super Bowl for him in the Eagles. He had a stupid season, got hurt. Flacco took over and won the Super Bowl. And then I think the Flacco won the Super Bowl for the Ravens, right? Am I not mistaken? Structure is set up for good of the business, and the right people have to be found out, but it doesn't mean they're not talented. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of talented people out there. Brown passed on. Yeah, I believe it. The proof was what the tight end you need. The proof, that's proof of what tight end you need. Yeah. If you got you said I'll get more draft picks. We don't have to get more draft picks, y'all. You know what? You know why people was whining? And it goes into the mindset of this. When people was like, we don't even have a first round draft pick. And I was like, yes, we do. We got 2. We got them the year before. We got 2 proven players. How can you lose with that? We had, I think, 5 draft picks last year, I believe. And we hit on every last one of them. Carson Wentz. Thank you. And that was Nick Foles. My fault. Nick Foles. But that's my point. Okay, Flacco won with the Ravens, right? But you see how Nick Foles came in and he took them there. So it's like any given Sunday. Or who got the biggest purse? You know. He said, what about Malik Willis? What about him? Malik Willis is another mobile quarterback. I really want us to get away from this Michael Vick experience. I don't have any problem with Malik Willis. Yeah. I don't have a problem with Malik Willis. But they were saying the same thing about it when he was coming into the draft. We need to get Malik Willis. We need to get Malik Willis. And I'm like, why? Oh, he's a good quarterback. Now, did he look like when Love was out, he was on point. Like, cool. So we're at a point where we can't be experimenting with players. If a Stefanski, because he has full autonomy, I don't know if y'all know what that means. When you have full autonomy, that means you can decide whatever you decide and live with the results. You can, if he want to bring in Malik Willis, he'll bring in Malik Willis. If he want to bring in Flacco, he'll bring in Flacco. If he wants to start Michael Penix Jr., he will start Michael Penix Jr. It's just what a real run first team should be feared because of the toughness and capability. What a cap bring, the tight end have to be maulers. Yeah, they have to be ones. It's just like the old line. They have to be able to push the pocket, the spread to make the lanes. To a point when they're chopping their feet, boom, I got you. Boom, I got you. Boom, I got you. Boom, I got you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they pushing people to spread the line so he can just easily just skip through Bijan. Joe Flacco is older than Ian Cunningham. Two stats, two touchdowns, 6 INTs. Our bridge quarterback doesn't need to be great. They just need to bridge the gap until the one who we want to be in there is ready to go. I'll say this. You remember when the Patriots had Brissett? They had Brissett and they had somebody else. And when Tom Brady was out for 4 games and Brissett won 2, they lost 2 and 1, 2, you know what I'm saying? And they still made it. It's like sometimes you don't need people to do too much of anything. If they feel like, hey, by the 4th week, Michael Penix is ready, and bring in Michael Penix. Like it's what up, bro? It just depends. The new GM is big on having a lot of draft picks. He made that clear. He wanted more picks to build a team. That's what they say. The only good thing about having draft picks is, that's my next mindset. Like I said, and how can we win in free agency? Is if you want to franchise tag a Kyle Pitts and then bring in a David Njoku, and then you want to sit up here and re-sign a Caden Ellis, you want to re-sign an Algier. The easier way to do this is if you almost keep the same team. And I would say that's another way you almost keep the same team, because in this draft, there's a lot of opportunity. I even had in one of my draft picks, I even had us picking what is it, Surratt? I even had Surratt on. I drafted, okay, my draft, this is how I went. Didn't trade anything. I got Branch as my 48 pick. My 79th pick, I got Deontay Scott, the Miami cornerback. I got Deontay Scott. I got Zachariah Branch, Keontae Scott. I got the inside linebacker, Jake Slaughter from Florida. So I got the one from the cornerback from Miami, and I got the one from Florida. And then I went tight end, Aiden Fisher. Aiden Fisher from Indiana. I mean, not tight end, but linebacker, Aiden Fisher. Linebacker. We need linebackers. And then I got Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech. So I went wide receiver, cornerback, inside O-line, linebacker, and another wide receiver. 2 speedy guys that can take the top off. Keep Hodge. He's a good special teams guy. We know it. I know it. You know it. Keep a Hodge. I don't know where Blair is. I think Nick Nash is gone somewhere else. That's one of my drives. I'm gonna show you one of the ones I got. That was one of my better drives. That was one of my better ones. That was actually like one of my best ones. Yeah, that was one of my best ones when I got those guys. Because you got to think about it. On my defensive line, if we're getting rid of Anyamata, Ruka they're coming. He's coming up. He was the Grady Jarrett replacement. We need to get the guy from Detroit Lions who's a free agency. I think. Get him. He's a run stopping D-line. He can be like a good nose tackle. We need another cover corner, right? We need another linebacker, and we need another defensive lineman. I honestly believe we need a plug-and-play corner. Billy Bowman, Xavier Watts, they're already good. You know it, I know it. JPJ, Jalen Walker, good. You know it, I know it. So a nice young cornerback, nice cover man-to-man cornerback that can shore up the other side with AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell got burnt a couple times too. He wasn't a shutdown corner, but we don't need them to be a shutdown corner. We just need them to hold. We need, like I said, the pressure is going to get the quarterback to throw early. And hopefully with our dogs we got back there, because a good little minute on our team, you know it, I know it, they wasn't throwing on our team like that. So it's a possibility we can get a Zachariah Branch. It's a possibility we can get a Keontae Scott. Keontae Scott is a plug and play. Zachariah Branch is a plug and play. I even got the dude from Ohio State, cornerback, Davison in Bulgason, cornerback from Ohio State. Then I got a defensive lineman from Texas to be my nose tackle. Cole, what's his name? Cole Brevard. And then of course I went back to Eric Rivers. Eric Rivers from Georgia Tech, he's gonna drop tremendously. Sometimes people like it's the size. Pause that. It's how small someone is. They be like, yeah, he can't. You just needed somebody that can take the top off. But this is the one when I did a draft. I got Elijah Surratt. I got an A for that. Not an A plus. I got an A plus for Georgia tight end, on-time wide receiver. Elijah Surratt is going to still be there because between Surratt and Zachariah Branch, unless some team just wants some super, it's like this here. If somebody's willing to go offensively stout when it comes to wide receiver, we need to go get the O-line. We need to go get an O-line person that can take over, that can an interior O-line person next to the next to Bergeron. They still giving me Keontae Scott. And then I ended up going Albert Regis, the defensive lineman from Texas A&M. This is the one when I got almost all A's. All A's, A plus, A plus, A plus, A plus. Well, it was like A plus. It was an A plus, A plus, A plus, and then a B. Elijah Surratt, Keontae Scott. I'm sold on Keontae Scott. Brian Parker II, offensive tackle. Brian Parker II, offensive tackle. And our third pick. Our fourth pick, Josh Cuvis from Alabama. He reminds me of Kyle Pitts-esque style tight end. And then of course Eric Rivers, because I just feel like he's going to. You said we need to drop another quarterback. He's gonna drop tremendously well, and then like far down, and we got to show up the wide receiver spot. We have to show up another O-line. The O-line is going to be. It doesn't matter if we go veteran O-line or we go draft the O-line, because we want those guys to be around for a good little minute. So if we're going to draft the O-line, I'm fine with that. That's where Callahan comes in when it comes to the O-line. If he say, hey, I like this guy, like this guy, like this guy, like this guy, and then none of those guys get picked and we got an opportunity to talk to them in, the undrafted free agent pool, then what are we talking about? We're winning, right? I will wait till 27 when the QB class is better. I don't feel like we should draft the QB methodical good quarterback class that never comes, or that mystical That mythical, is that mythical good quarterback class that never comes. Open up that window for sure. He said, "Open up my window." Talk about this to show like all my stuff. You see that? You see that up there in the background? Remember when I was like, I was like, man, I don't know if I should get an AJ Terrell jersey. I ended up winning a AJ Terrell jersey, signed AJ Terrell jersey. Now I just need to meet up with him and get him to write on that man of the year on it. So if he go to the Atlantic Station, I'm gonna go down there and just say, hey, man, put man of the year on here, please, and that'll be it. You already got your name signed on it. I just put man on the year right there. Yeah, you remember that is a sleeper. That is a sleeper. You remember when we drafted Walker? It never fails. Bring Andre Rison back. Andre. That's funny. You remember when we drafted Michael Walker? A lot of the people didn't understand that who we be thinking that's gonna go, the other teams might be trying to think of a draft strategy to say, let me pick my O-line person now. So when you draft that other guy who I really want will come back around. Because it never fails. People draft people draft crazy. The Saints passed on Shador too. You know what I'm saying? Hell, every team I'm gonna pass on Shador. He said the nuts bus. The nuts bus. That's correct. Don't pause that nuts bus. The nuts bus. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's crazy. You said the nuts. That's crazy. I'm thinking that also because of the wide receiver room, we need to address the trenches and free agent is possible. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like we got to win in free agency, everyone. Like we got to win in free agency, and free agency we can shore up certain areas that we don't have to worry about drafting. Like getting multiple draft picks. Nah. Nah. At that point, it's just like we're blowing up the team. So if you want to blow up the team, you let Kyle Pitts walk. Don't resign Kyle Pitts. Let Onyemata walk. Tyler Algier. Because it's like I said, if it's up to Stefanski and it's what he wants, if you believe it's what he wants, but Matt Ryan is over the president of football. It's checks and balances here. We need a good middle linebacker. Yeah, I drafted one. Like the few, like there's so much potential out here. Y'all don't understand. We don't need people that are. Look at our defense. I know I'm talking about offense, but look at our defense. What is it on our defense do you think we need that we would just have to draft? Or do you feel like what we need on our defense, you would rather have a veteran person in those positions? Would you rather have a linebacker that's young or a veteran linebacker? Would you rather have a cornerback that's young or a veteran cornerback? And another safety. They said we needed another safety, which is crazy to me. But another strong safety. It's crazy. He said, I honestly, my whole mindset is too many highly thought of IM prospects after completed a long season overvalued. They are. A lot of people are overvalued. It's all about because it's a lot of plug and play players, but you got to get complementary players. That's why when people say somebody like get Pickens, Why? Drake London doesn't do a good enough job. If we're gonna get a ball dominant wide receiver that's gonna take away, like they said it best, like if I have a person that's out there, if just think about it like this. If I'm contracted as a wide receiver and I got to get 8 to 9 touches, targets, 8 to 9 targets. A wide receiver, how much does a wide receiver on average get? Like, let's say 4 targets. Let's say it depends on the wide receiver. I'll say 7 to 8 targets. And saying you got a Kyle Pitts that wants 7 to 8 targets, you have Drake London that wants 7 to 8 targets, and then you have a Pickens that wants 7 to 8 targets, right? Just saying they get 8 targets. That's 32 targets a game. That means we're going to be throwing the ball more than we're going to be doing anything else. That's not feasible. Like somebody that can get, that's why the requirement of like a Kyle Pitts or like a wide receiver 2 or a slot receiver, you're not looking for somebody that's going to be ball dominant. You're going to look for someone that it's more so like, okay, if the defense is giving us a zone coverage, who can get behind the soft zones? Who can we give a short pass to, and then their yak yards and their athleticism is going to get more yards? What type of offense is going to be like? It's like when people went against like Julio Jones, they were like, oh yeah, he that guy. He can go take a slant to the house. You know what I'm saying? You said WB Everett from Georgia? Probably. Ian says, don't mortgage your future for today. That's all in his players. That's all in his players' mindset. I mean, like I said, the whole mindset of we got to win now. If they're saying this mindset where we got to win now is out the window and we're going to build a team from the ground up, and I want to get more draft picks to see and utilize these guys and get guys that I feel like is going to be, because we, like I said, understanding their vision, I honestly believe in my mind that I think Stefanski, Ian Matt Ryan is going to build a team that's sustainable for years to come. So whatever we've had before is going to be really non-existent. It's not even going to matter anymore. Will Lee, I seen Will Lee good, and Brandon Sice, Sicey. I'm gonna say Sice from South Carolina. I hope it's Sice. I'm like, Sicey. I don't know. P.S. People don't like the 2008 quarterback class. Wanted Dorsey, McFadden over Ryan. Laughed at Baltimore for drafting Flacco round 1. Yeah. We need a speedy wide receiver. That's what they were saying. What's his name? Oh, shit. Eric Rivers. Zachariah Branch. The reason I want Zachariah Branch is he reminds me of Bijan Robinson in a wide receiver form, if I can say that. The way he cuts, the way he stops, like, and cuts back, he reminds me of a Bijan Robinson. That's just a wide receiver to me. Dylan Bell from Georgia. Dylan Bell, I think he was in my what's the name too. It was a lot of people, like when I was doing my drafts, they was picking people. I was like, what? Why are you picking that person before this person? But it's all about what fits the team needs, y'all. We need a premier wide receiver too. Somebody's gonna have to get open. That's why it was baffling to me for us to be like, oh my God, Kyle Pitts did 3 touchdowns, 160 yards. And Inconsistent as hell. Inconsistent. Like, he's so inconsistent to me. It does nothing for the team if you're inconsistent. That's anybody. Only two people that was consistent as far as pass catching and skill positions was like Bijan Robinson and Drake London before he got hurt. Drake London act like a guy that wanted to win. Not saying nobody else wanted to win, but play like it. We didn't see Kyle Pitts like that until Drake London went down. And then he had to be the premier guy. And then you also got to think about the quarterbacks that was thrown to him. It was two different ones. It was Penix at one point in time, and then it turned into Kirk Cousins. And what were we saying about Kirk Cousins when he was taking to him at first? You see how he was throwing the ball to Drake London? No, we were talking about him throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts, and that's some people like who they like. So that's why it's important for us to bring in quarterback coaches. It's important for us to bring in passing offensive coordinators and all these guys that can understand where to play ball placement and developing quarterbacks, because that's one thing that somebody like Michael Penix did not have. He did not have like development around him like that. Not like I said, I kid you not. I thought when this man said, they said, "Hey, who do you call on?" Like when you're having a bad game and all these things. This dude said his fiance, high school coaches, or something like that. I thought it was AI. I had to go back and look again. I said, "Bro, this can't be real. Is this AI?" I swear to you, I was like, "This is AI." And I had to relook at it again. Like, I was like, "This is crazy. That's crazy." So, like I said, and I said it before, bad coaching failed this team. And we don't know what team we're finna get next year or this year. Only thing we can hope for is this team. I mean, the coaching staff. Can we at least say this? I did, like I said before, and I asked this question. So we're in the Q&A section. Can y'all answer this question for me? Can y'all answer this question for the Lochness? Can you say that Stefanski is better than Raheem Morris? Now, can you say that the coaches assembled as of today is better than the coaches that we had before from last year, the 2 years of Raheem Morris? Can you say this coaching staff right here is better than the coaching staff that Raheem had like last year? We'll just say last year. We kept Ulbrich. I like saying Ulbrich, because their defense, our defense wasn't shabby, y'all. Our defense was pretty good. We had great sack numbers. And we had awesome pressure, and we finally got to the quarterback, and we got 2 proven rookies. We got 4 proven rookies. Billy Bowman before he got hurt, but he's going to be back out there. You said on paper. See, I was thinking that same thing. On paper. So, okay, you said on paper. So, would you say if you put our old offensive coordinator next to the new offensive coordinator, you'll still take Zach Robinson over Reese? Our old defensive coordinator is still our same news defensive coordinator, so that counts us out. Our old coach is Raheem Morris, and when you put Raheem Morris next to Stefanski, do you believe that Stefanski is better or Raheem is better than Stefanski? Is Raheem Morris better than Stefanski? And if you said no, Stefanski is better than Raheem, then we're already winning. Zach Robinson over Zach Robinson over Tommy Reese. Okay. So as far as the offensive coordinator go, we should have kept the old offensive coordinator. Okay, Stefanski is better. Okay, so Stefanski is better. We should have kept Zach Robinson, the one person that everybody said gone. That's why I say be careful what you ask for. You say, we want Zach Robinson out of here, right? So then we move him up out of here, and then we bring in Tommy Rees. Like, what are you doing? No. You can't have both. You can't have both. He said Stefanski is better. Okay. Hell no. Tommy Rees called plays for multiple teams. So calling plays for multiple teams and Zach Robinson, first time calling plays. This is what I'm telling people. See, people need to do their homework. So you saying somebody first time calling plays is better than somebody that's been calling plays for multiple teams. So experience don't matter. Experiences don't matter. Or does experience matter? And what you do in the experience. Because you can't say the same thing. Like, that's why I gave up the ideal of if we would have been Sam Darnold's 15, if I would have told you, let's go get Sam Darnold, nobody would have said, hell no, don't get no Sam Darnold. He been passed around like 4 times, 4 different teams. Why the hell we want Sam Darnold? Hell no, we don't want no Sam Darnold. And then, but you look at him now with the Seahawks, everybody on him. It's the same thing with Clint Kubiak. Nobody was calling for Clint Kubiak when he was with the Saints. Y'all wasn't saying, let's go get Clint Kubiak from the Saints. What were we saying we was going to go get Clint from the Saints? So y'all are proving y'all own. It's like y'all contradicting the mindset. Like some of us are contradicting the mindset that we've been thinking, like, because we see somebody doing great now, we want that shiny new toy. But it's the same toy that was over there in the box when it was with the Saints. That's that same quarterback that was passed around by 4 different teams before he went to the Seahawks. Now he in the Super Bowl. Dylan Bell could be Deebo Samuel type. Yeah, gadget guy, get to it, slot guy. Our staffing was a laughing stock. So can we agree this coaching staff is better than last 2 years coaching staff, even that we kept Hubert? Can we agree to that? If we can agree that this coaching staff we have today is better than last year's coaching staff, then guess what we have just done, y'all? We've just improved. I hear so many people whining and because we don't get the team, we don't get the big names that everybody want. You want to have a team. Can you imagine? Did you see the coaching staff we have when we had that super coaching staff? And then all of these guys are off OCs and head coaches and stuff, right? It's going to be hard to get that. It's going to be hard to get that. You think about a Callahan who had the Dallas Cowboys. You remember, like I said, you remember when the Dallas Cowboys, you could not penetrate the offensive line. They had the best line. We have that guy who had orchestrated to make sure that line be premier for years. We have him. I'm like, some of us are students of the game and some of us just watch the game. You can agree on that. Robinson never did prior to Atlanta. Robinson never did prior to Atlanta. Exactly. So if Tommy Rees called plays for several different teams, and because Tommy Rees called plays for Alabama too, right? And I thought somebody like a Nick Saban saying that, you know what, you can call the plays, right? Come on now. Y'all got to understand too, Zach had to go for real. Yeah, so it's just like he's not the popular choice. Like Tommy Rees is not the popular choice. So if he's Tommy Rees, because if you had a choice between Zach Robinson or Tommy Rees, which one would you take? If you had a choice between Zach Robinson or Tommy Rees, Stefanski already worked with this guy. So familiarity is always a plus. Hey, I've already worked with this person. They already can give me what I need. This is what we need to do. Blase, blase. He said, I told people to trust the process after everyone was mad at the Stefanski hire. I said that same thing in one of you go look at my other videos. I said, can the Falcons fans trust the process? Is one of my shows. Can the Falcons fans trust the process? Are we going to give them are we going to allow them to cook? Are we going to allow them to do their job and trust that we're going to bring in the people we need? Yeah, he said, yeah, Tommy is head and shoulders above Robinson. And then guess what we just did? We just improved. I don't know why people don't understand. I said the same thing when we were 7-10 for 3 years in a row. We went 8-9 for 2 years in a row. Guess what Raheem did? We improved by one game. That means we were successful. We didn't get to where we needed to go. And then it's like we're never satisfied if that's the case. Because if we sit up here and go to the playoffs and we lose the first game in the playoffs, are we going to be like, damn, at least we made it to the playoffs. At least we won the South. Nope, we're gonna be like, we ain't go to the Super Bowl. You know how them people be when they be like, I know somebody can vouch for this. When you have a car, like Roger got my Roger got my goddamn new truck, and then somebody be like, what year that is? Oh, why this that goddamn 2003? And then somebody be like, oh, I know somebody that got that 2005 with the sunroof shit with the flip up with the button, and you like, that's what this remind me of. It's always gonna be somebody better. But you got to get the people that's going to mesh together. That's why so many people that's not leaving. Like, it's like we've been trying to get the dude from Kansas City, the black offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator, whoever the black Bellamy, I forgot his name. But we've been trying to get him for the longest of time, but this dude is staying over there. Because sometimes you want to go where you're winning at, or you want to go where you're comfortable at. Lochness, you up early today. Fashowski. Yeah, they let the Lochness monster out early, me. Yeah, I'll be about like 3 times. Matt Ryan is a smart man. And I dissected that aspect of a quarterback running the offensive mind of a quarterback and the tacticianness of a for how that can play on people that are, because you got to think about it. The offensive, like our coaches and people we have in position. I don't know too in kind of, but like Matt Ryan, they're going to try to emulate that whole 2016. Like what did you have? What did you have around you? What was the culture around you, that winning culture that got you having the fifth best, you know what I'm saying, offense in NFL history with Matt Ryan? You know, with you at the helm, Matt Ryan. What did you have? You think they're not sitting there thinking and asking him questions on what he felt and how what type of players he have? They got film, they got tape, they have access to all of these things. You don't think they're paying people to sit down and scout this information, scout these players for a reason? Yeah. They just like, man, what Matt Ryan gonna do? Oh, he's the savior of the team. Oh, Stefanski. Stefanski. Who wants Stefanski? Who wants a Stefanski? But we can agree that Stefanski is better than Raheem. If Stefanski is better than Raheem, then that's nothing to complain about. That's just like getting some food. Hey man, what you eating? Beans and bread? Well, I got this burger from McDonald's. From McDonald's though? Is it better than them beans and bread? No, I don't know, man. Because you know how to, like, it's just like, or you're saying something like, oh man, what you eating? A mayonnaise sandwich. You know, you old school. You know that old school, a sugar sandwich. What you eating now? A bologna sandwich. I don't even like bologna, but it's better than a mayonnaise sandwich. At least you got mayonnaise and bologna on that. You know what I'm saying? It's like understanding like we have improved. What's up, fam? Matt City? Oh, he's a former player. Couscous. I'm gonna check him out. Yeah, Eric Benamy or something like that on the Bears now. He did work with Stefanski in Minnesota. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it took him a minute to move from there, right? He was with, and then you see he left. He left when that machine is breaking down in Kansas City. They ain't getting them calls like they used to. So now that team is going under. You know, who knows what's up, and we'll put people in positions to succeed. Yeah, it's so much like we talked about it like this. And I really don't want to use that, so I'm not gonna use that. Who was coming down here to work with Raheem Morris? Who was him? Who did he have ties to that he can just be like, hey, bro, come on down here, my boy. I got this team. Hey, I got Atlanta. I got Atlanta for you. Do you look and see what Stefanski and a Matt Ryan has came up with? Look at the team that we have put together to induce a positive influence on where we're trying to go. Our question mark is where the quarterback position is, but we just need somebody to be a bridge quarterback until we get the position and Michael Penix get into his rehab and get him structured to where he's comfortable in doing what he do. Because we have the coaches around him now. We have coaches that's been veteran coaches that understand position coaches that understand development. Do you honestly believe that, if because it showed itself. It showed itself last year when we had Michael Penix there. This man said himself he had nobody to call on to the team. No coaches, old coaches that ain't even on the staff. My fiance, who don't even work for the Falcons. It's like, what are we talking about right now? Eric B sucked at UCLA. Yeah, but he's been a premier person when he since he's been with the Kansas City, right? So like I told y'all, Clint Kubiak sucked when he was with the Saints. What are we talking about? Matt Ryan bringing a ring to the city at all costs since Vegas stole his ring. Hey man, hey, we gonna move past. Hey, who knows? I think Morris took the time to look for took his time to look for an OC. But he also took his homeboy, because it's all about, like, we don't understand. Like, I mean, we need to understand this is sometimes some people might not want to come down here. I'm about, nah, bro, I'm good. He said, help me. So it's just, if we can honestly say the coaching staff that we have currently is better than the coaching staff we had last year, guess what we have done? We have already improved. Our defense is lacking what? A cornerback, linebackers, a defensive player on the line. And then you get surefire in those positions, sure plug and play players, and then you work on depth. Then you get a complementary player that's almost just as or just as good, and you're able to rotate them during certain packages. Some people are good at coverage. Some people are good at run stopping. Sometimes you want to call those players where, hey, they probably finna run, so we're going to put our run stoppers in. Hey, they probably finna do this. Then we're going to put our run, so we got so much experience compared to last coaching staff. Exactly. It's a lot of experience that's probably they done went through the avenues of learning how to do this. And then when you get complementary coaches that you've already worked with, you already know how to engage. You know how easy it is to say, hey, man, you remember how we did this? This how you see this? What you see? Oh, yeah, what you see, bro? It's easier. And it ain't a whole bunch of egos floating around. We've already worked with each other. I already know what I'm getting with this guy. We have this thing. Let me lean on you to try to feel like, we call it support. We support each other. No knock on Reese's because he's training is overlooked. Stefanski gave him the play calling assignment the last 8 games. Why we bring his protege with him? Yeah, exactly. Why would he bring somebody that's possibly he just saying that we go win a playoff game this year and we get there, but we lose in a championship game. It's almost at the Super Bowl, and then next year this man go off and go be his head coach somewhere. We don't know. We don't know. He said, I'm sleeping better at night. Fans have to let these men do their jobs instead of complaining, especially when you see good change in their face. Exactly, JB. It's like positive change. Like, bruh, like it's there. If that's not the case, If that's not the case, then we can't say. If we can't say, that's why I asked, hey, Maggie Fontenot, what's happening? I asked Maggie Fontenot the same thing. Well, actually, you can't be Maggie Fontenot no more. Fontenot was fired, so it's gonna be Maggie Reese, Maggie T. Reese, T. Reese, pun intended. So, actually, it's gonna be Maggie Cunningham, I guess. Yeah, it'd be Maggie Cunningham. My bad, Maggie Cunningham. But I still Maggie T. But understanding that, and I had asked her that, is Stefanski better than Raheem Morris? And we say yes, we've improved. If we can say Tommy Reese is better than Zach Robinson, guess what we did? We improved. Who was that? Who was our O-line coach? Lefford? Is it Lefford? I think he was a good O-line coach. I think, right? Lefford. Yeah, Maggie McRyan. You know, Maggie T. Ryan. Maggie Ryan. Okay. Maggie T. Cunningham. Okay. Yeah, Maggie T. Cunningham. That sounds better. They got a good ring to it. Maggie T. Cunningham. But who was our old offensive O-line coach? It was Letford, right? Or somebody. They wasn't bad either. But I'm gonna say this: if I got a guy that makes some premier O-lines and a guy that just it's a difference between being good and being great and then being legendary, right? Everybody you can be bad, okay, good, great, awesome, legendary. If we already had a good O-line coach, but we got one that's damn near can make some legendary line, would you want the legendary person or the good person? That's how you gotta look at it. Because in order for us, and people need to understand this, in order for us to change the culture of this team, we have to cut this team out. We have to get rid of damn near everybody that has some influence in the culture of the business, the team, the organization, and it starts with the front office. Because so we can say Falcons fans can be vibe killers. They can be their own, like regardless of what. How many times that the Cowboys fans think they're gonna go to the Super Bowl and still be the Seahawks? Nobody was talking about the Seahawks, man, and they still had arguably one of the loudest stadiums in the building. Like, you know, it's just what it is. Like, we just want to win. We want to win how we want to win. Oh, Dwayne Lefford. Okay, he was a good O-line coach, right? But Bill Callahan is like legendary status. Because they can be like, hey, if you're such a good O-line coach, they still came in and hurt that guy. He still came in and hurt Penix in the trenches. Callahan finna be on Jake ass. Pause that. Yeah, man. Lefford compared to Callahan is like comparing Wemby to Duncan. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wemby's cool. Like, Wemby's good. Lanky, doing his thing. But Tim Duncan, though, that's legendary, bro. Tim Duncan, different. Like, that's different. McAtee, first lady of AFN, the Sanu interview was fire. Like, that's another reason, like, bro, I know I didn't feel good like last night, but how can I have a show after you have a Sanu interview? That was crazy. I'm like, what? I come here and just start talking to you, hey guys, I'm like, man, get out of here. Like, who you bringing up, Lochness? Besides yourself. Shout out to Sanu, my boy. Hey man, we trying to get some other people up on here. I said, man, I was telling, hey, I try to get I'm finna try to contact this guy. I'm finna try to campaign. I'm about to try to campaign to get this guy. If I have this guy up here, my whole man, Lefford is good, but not great. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one thing about being good, great, awesome, and legendary. He was good, but good with no cigar. That's what they say. Special teams was hilarious. Who is our special teams coach? Who is that? Who is our special team? Did they fire him yet? I ain't heard nobody firing him. I ain't I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm trying to see right now. Yeah, do y'all know before I look it up? Our special teams wasn't it DJ something? I don't know. I'm trying to see right now. Come on. Every time I'm trying to use my phone, when I'm trying to look for something, this thing is like it moves just as slow. It was Craig. Oh, they brought in Craig Uckerman or Anchorman. That's the person they just did. I want to know who the old one is. Maurice Williams. Maurice Williams. Maurice Williams. Yeah. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Up out of here. I'm not even gonna cap and say our special team is what's killed us on a lot of games. And it's disheartening when you playing your ass off. Do you know that game where Drake London went for 3 tuds? I think we still lost that game. Did we still lose that game? Uckerman, he was with the Titans, the Chargers, and the Jags. Craig Uckerman. Bro, we had a whole kicker fiasco. But that's what I'm saying. We had a whole kick. Like we could have beat. Just thinking we would have beat Tampa Bay that first game with cool kicker, whatever. Like we could have won the overtime or whatever. If we would have won that first game and we would let the whole season play out, bro, we would be in the play. Like we would have been in the playoffs. It was like we was like one game away, bro. Literally, beating the Jets, Miami, even the like we was literally one game away. And it's saddening. It's so saddening. Like, bro, it's crazy work. That's crazy. That's crazy work. I'm trying to see. All right. That's crazy. Yep, lost to the Panthers. Yeah, we lost to the Panthers. Even if we would have beat the Panthers one game, we would have been in the playoffs. And Raheem would still be here. So, like I said, yes, he would. So it's like it's as frustrating as our team was, and as frustrating as our last 5 seasons have been, even longer, 8 seasons without a playoff berth. We can sit here today and say what the Avengers that have assembled today is better than what we had in the last 5 years. So we got more experience in the positions that we have. We have created guys with more experience, and it's probably easier to work with. They came down here like it assembled kind of quickly. And a lot of people don't understand about even with the Clint Kubiak situation where they was just like, why did you? And it was just like, well, he's still going to the playoffs. I mean, he's still going to the Super Bowl. He's going to the Super Bowl now, or he still had the playoffs to do. We needed somebody now to go ahead and start reshaping and structuring this team before the draft, and all of these things. So it's a who did it? God did. God did. Who did it? God did. Yeah, for sure. All right. So I appreciate that. We finna end this thing. I talked to y'all for almost 2 hours. This is supposed to be an hour show. Him being like an insider. For sure, for sure. But hey, your boy finna be out this thing. Like I said, if y'all haven't subscribed to the Lochness podcast on YouTube, that's road to 500 subs. Go to the Lochness podcast on YouTube, sub, send your brother, your cousin, your auntie that like this Falcon content. And even if you are subscribed to the AFN LLC, still come over to the Lochness podcast channel. It's my own individual channel that also get these same videos over there. Go over there if you haven't subbed, just subscribe, hit the notification bell, thumbs up, send a comment, let me know. Lochness, my boy, I subscribe, my G, and then we Gucci. And you'll be a part of the Liddy committee, man. The Liddy committee for Showski. But I do appreciate everybody that stopped by. Hey, sorry I couldn't do my show last night, but we up in here to stay. I mean, for anybody that's gonna come back on the replay, fuck with your boy. I appreciate y'all. Everybody in the chat, putting the red and blacks in the chat. Throw the salutes up, my boy. Throw the deuces, my boys and girls. And let's get to it, man. Like I said, our team is better now, and we're gonna get better. You get better with change, and change comes. You can change your mindset every day. And we just build it a different culture, y'all. It ain't saying it's gonna be pretty. We just, like you said, gotta trust the process. Peace.